tie rod end. Hitting that, loosening that. I want to do that first before I do anything else. Alright, with a little persuasion from a hammer, do loose. Alright, moving on. Next up, I'll loosen this top strut. Those bolts right there. Alright, once you got these guys off, then you want to go down here and on the knuckle, there's the one right there and one on the opposite side right there. So you want to turn the wheel all the way one way, you can get this one off. Turn the wheel all the way other way and you can get this way off. And right now, as you can see, I've soaked it in penetrating oil, but it's also really fucking nice to have one of these guys. Okay, now that those two bolts are out, I'm gonna go ahead and take the cotter pin and the castle nut off of the tie rod end and remove that from the knuckle so I can freely push it back and forth without being caught up on the steering rack. And then remove the brake from the hub so that way I can do the brake last. And then finesse the strut off the knuckle and go from there. I think I'll probably have to cut the ball joint again, the actual stud from the ball joint again, because it's likely that the knuckle will be seized on it. This tie rod likes to get stuck in the knuckle, so got to give it some love with this for a little bit, about there, not there, not there, but right there, and usually it'll pop out. If I've also heard that you can put the castle nut on it like so, not all the way down, and then you're able to hit it there so that way it doesn't mushroom head the thing and get stuck in there. At least that's what people on YouTube have told. Alright, I got the brake off. It was those front two 14 and then two 19s back here, and that took the whole brake assembly off. I'm still having trouble getting this out. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, so we'll see. For now, it looks like I could just walk everything else off. Like this whole thing will come down, so I gotta be careful right here. Got it detached with a little bit of left from the L hammer. Cool, we're gonna move on. So now I gotta wiggle this strut out, which is terrifying because it's heavy and there's sharp shit. Someone put gloves on and stuff. On the other side, when I did decide to try out to learn it on the other side, this was a lot easier to get out. I was able to just shake it out and the whole assembly fell out because it was so heavy or something. But on this side, it's not giving me such an easy time. Took off these bolts. I even undid the tension rod and it's still not wanting to come out. I pushed down on it, everything. So what I'm gonna try to do now is just cut it right there at the ball joint. I'll let you know how that goes. Alright, I got the strut out right there and all that shit. Cut it. Took a little bit of persuasion from the hammer and the bitch just fell out. So next I'm gonna remove the toe arms and then press out this and probably just reattach the tension rod. Alright, me and Katie got this bushing or ball joint out with the C thingy.
It's smushed.
It's smushed. We're gonna put the other one in. The old inner tie rod out with the little retainer thingy mabob, and I got the S13 inner tie rod in. My boot is destroyed, whatever, I don't give a shit. 1995 Ford Escort outer tie rod. Should about work. I'm gonna throw on the knuckle and then the coil next, and then change the brake. After just putting on the tie rods, we now attach the knuckle via this bolt right here that comes off of the lower ball joint right here, up through the lower ball joint, castle nut and cotter pin. Then we connected the tie rod, castle nut and cotter pin. So next we're going to, by the way, this is turned all the way to the right to give me more access to this. We're on the left side, so it kicks this out so I have a little bit more like room to work. But yeah, then now I can just throw in the coil over and then do the brake, and then that's everything installed, and I'll have to bleed the brake. It worked. I was able to get it off. I had to squeeze it really tight with the vice grips, but it worked. Now it's free. I mean, I'm doing this with one hand, so you can't really see, but see how it like moves freely and it's not stripped? There's a fucking rainbow. Neat. That shit's cool. Rainbow workstation. I had to borrow a tool, which is this and this, and I was able to get the brake line loose. I almost stripped it, as you can maybe see. Started stripping it, so it's broken loose now. It dripped a bunch, so I'm gonna go ahead and change these brake lines and get this one tightened up. All right, I got the brake line attached. Retainer ring is in there as well, a little retainer guy right there. Brake line, it's not leaking. I'm gonna leave it for a little bit, make sure it doesn't leak. And next we're gonna throw on probably the coilover, and then we'll just do the brakes after that. I think that's it after that. And then we'll have to get we'll have to bleed the brakes. We'll have to bleed the brakes and then get in alignment, and she should be good. Alright, so I got the coilover in. I had to do some finagling up there. We got those nuts in, and then I had to like push back and forth on this to get these bolts lined up, and then they went in there. And the brake, got the brake pads and the rotor on. Now I gotta bleed the brakes and get in alignment, and it should be cherry. And probably you have to like readjust my height a little bit here and there to make sure it doesn't like one side higher than the other. But S13 suspension on an S12. We'll get more roller shots and stuff later, another video or something.